try to do is allow plenty of time for questions. So be thinking about questions. That's the whole point of this. So just very briefly, cardiovascular diseases are a global challenge in this part of the world and in our part of the world, all around. In the West, we have seen enormous successes with dramatic declines in age-adjusted mortality. Conversely, in other parts of the world, for example, in the BRICS countries, the atherothrombotic manifestations, MI, acute coronary syndrome, stroke, are on the rise. Irrespective, even though the face of cardiovascular diseases is different in different parts of the world, it is a major challenge for men and women. Indeed, it is the #1 killer of both around the world. And for that reason, we have positioned editors in circulation all around the world. We have 45 editors. About a third of them are in Dallas, Texas, down here where I live. Another third are in the U.S., outside of Dallas, and another third are positioned in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia. Professor Ma Chong-Shung here in Beijing, in Japan, in Singapore, South Africa, literally around the world. We are not an American journal, but we are a global journal because cardiovascular diseases are global. Just briefly, when our team took over, we made rather radical changes to the layout of the journal. We started new types of content, what we call frame of reference, On My Mind, where we invite people, thought leaders, to present their thought. There's something that's on my mind that I'd like to present to the world and see what they think. And Perspective, which is more data-driven. We publish 5 original, that thing is just bouncing around, 5 original research articles. Generally, they're 3 clinical and 2 basic every week. We also have review articles, state-of-the-art correspondence, and so forth. The senior leadership is illustrated here. James DeLemos is our executive editor, and Darren McGuire, Sana Al-Khatib at Duke, Victoria Delgado, who is in Catalan, and Gabriel Steg, who's in Paris. However, these are our associate editors who happen not to live in the U.S. And let me emphasize that they are equivalent. It's not that we have international editors. We have editors, and their role is the same whether they live in Dallas or New York or Paris or Japan or Beijing. It doesn't matter. We have a weekly video call literally around the world where we discuss our papers. Briefly, again, in 17 different countries in 10 different time zones, the way we think about it is impact, broadly speaking, not impact factor, but does this paper change the way you think about a disease or a pathway or a mechanism or a therapy? We have vastly now, we've been doing this for 8 years, expanded our outreach. We try to be proactive and reach out to our authors. Trust me, we're all authors ourselves. We know exactly what it feels like to be on the receiving end of comments from a journal. The peer review process we've changed such that it is not open-ended. There are some journals where it sometimes seems like they always want more and more, and we simply do not do that. We do value at a very high level the comments we receive from our peer reviewers. That said, we do take the liberty of selectively eliminating some comments that we think are not relevant or perhaps are asking too much of the authors, and we will cut those out. We are a clinical journal, and so we reach out to the clinician, but many of our clinicians, like me, are basic scientists, and so we have the full spectrum of science, but all our papers, whether they're basic or clinical, have to at some level reach out to the bedside where human beings suffer from disease. Again, our critiques are not open-ended. We have expanded the efficiency of the process. I believe that we are arguably the fastest journal in this space. The loyalty of our authors, again, we're authors. We try our best to make sure that they understand they can reach out to us, we can have a conversation, and we can work with our authors. We have an amazing podcast that was originally started by Carolyn Lom. Now it's run by Greg Hundley, who's in Virginia, and Peter Myhre, who's in Oslo, Norway. We finally have a WeChat account. It only took us 8 years, but now we have a WeChat account, so you might want to take a picture of that. The regulatory hurdles to getting a WeChat account are not trivial, and Heather Goodell in the back was the person who spearheaded that. We also launched 2 awards for previous editors-in-chief, Jim Willerson for the best clinical paper every year, and Joe Lascalza for the best basic translational paper of the year. I will tell you the best basic translational paper last year was from Wei Kong, an incredible investigator here in Beijing, and who's published the very best paper in basic translational space for us. We recognize our reviewers. I will write a letter to our best reviewers and to his or her boss, thanking them for what they have done for us. The last thing I'll do, this is a bit of a spoiler alert, just to let you know that the next session in this same room is where we will celebrate the birthday of Great Wall, 35 years, and the birthday of the AHA, 100 years. And we'll go over the history of both of those. And one of the pieces of content that we launched when my team took over is called Global Rounds, where every quarter we visit a different country. We visit France, we visit Venezuela, visit Canada, and we ask people there, tell us what it's like in your place. What are the challenges that you face? What are the successes you've had? And we've bounced around the world now probably 25 times. We haven't done China yet until today. We did China, and it was written by Ma Chongsheng, Ge Junbo, and Han Yaling, 3 incredibly powerful and impactful investigators here. And the other thing that we started with my team was publications simultaneously with the presentation at a meeting. We call simultaneous publications, or SimPubs. There has never yet been a SimPub at this meeting until today. When that is discussed at this next session at 4 o'clock in this room, at the end of that session, we will publish that paper online simultaneously with it's being presented. So I'm super excited about that. Again, here is what it's entitled, Advancing Cardiovascular Health in China. I urge you to read it because it is fascinating. I've read it now multiple times, as has Zhao, and it's really incredibly, it's sort of a very high level, 30,000 foot view of what it's like for cardiovascular disease here and where it is going here. So I urge you to take a look at that. Thank you.